Welcome back to Wannabe Workshop. We have been out here doing a few things, but we just haven't been smart enough to take videos while we're doing it. But today we are going to be in sanding mode. Ronnie's going to be moving all this stuff off the bench. He had a couple things he made, and we had moved the saw off one time, and then he's moved it back. But anyway, he's been experimenting with different grit here on the workbench to see how we could get it the smoothest. And now that he knows what he wants to use and what we've got to do that the full length of the bench, we're going to now clean off all this stuff, and we're going to sand this morning. So I'll do a time lapse of the sanding process, and then we'll have this hopefully all sanded today. Okay, so I learned a couple of important lessons. Number one, these N95s make my glasses fog up. And then I asked Ronnie, because he was sanding it first, right? And I wanted to help. But I was asking him about the way he was doing the sander, because he was doing the sander this way across the wood. But as you can see, the sanding blade runs this way, the belt here. So by going this way across the wood, it looked to me like it was, you know, cross. I thought we should be going this way, right? So I asked him about it, and he was doing it, and he said, you know, as long as you're going with the grain of the wood, that's what you need to be doing. Well, I wanted to try my hand on it because I saw these little marks in the wood where he was going sideways, and it was leaving these little, I don't know if you can see them here, but I noticed these little places in the wood where you could see the sander had gone through. And I thought that was kind of weird. So I thought, well, I'm going to try doing it, running the sander this way, still going with the grain, but turning the sander a bit sideways. And as you can see, I learned a very important lesson. Number one, that sander will run away from you. That sucker's powerful. Ronnie made it look easy, and it almost ran away from me a couple times. I had to use two hands on several occasions because it's just a powerful little thing. I didn't know that. And then also, it can leave these little sketch marks. I don't know what you call that, but it left little skid marks in the wood. And every time you see a skid mark, it was me. And I'm not sure what I did wrong or different to leave a skid mark, but I left skid marks in several locations. And so I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But hey, it's fun. It's been a little relaxing. I realized when I pulled this thing off to vacuum, this little part right here, and I knew this, okay? I knew this. It pushes out sawdust here, and so this connects, and Ronnie made this little connector because we didn't have one to go with this. Thrift store shop vac, y'all, $15. We got it at a thrift store. It is a beast. Anyway, he made this little piece to go on here and connect, and it works great, but, sorry, I was putting it back on. The sander kicks out a lot of sand down here, a lot of sawdust down here where the belt is, right? Well, that's fine. I was just vacuuming that up, so I thought I was being nice and tidy, pulling this off and pulling it up. But when you're doing heavy-duty sanding, it's throwing out so much sawdust here that it's putting a lot more in the air. And I realized after the fact, I was watching Ronnie do it, that if I was holding this and I was trying to vacuum behind him, the sawdust being kicked out by the blade, it was throwing so much sawdust here into the air that it was throwing it up on his sleeve, and it was throwing it up into potentially our eyes. And so I realized, hey, that needs to stay on. We really need to have like a second shop vac going to do sawdust. So I learned some important lessons today. Ronnie probably already knows all this stuff, but I don't. I'm learning. And so we're not quite finished. I told him we had some rough spots back here, and he came back here with a little sander and did some more work. So I got a lot of vacuuming here to do, and we've been wiping everything down, but we're almost finished. And after we get it to where we like it, because we're still finding little rough spots, then we'll be ready to seal, but we're not sealing today. Anyway, it's been kind of cool. Bench is coming together, looks good, and I guess I'll be doing the cleanup work.
Which one you gonna do?
All right, we took a little break. I'll do either one. I'll wipe or I'll dry. So we took a little break, forming our plan of attack. So I'm gonna finish vacuuming off the sawdust. Ronnie's checked it. He says this is it. We don't have to sand anymore. So I'm gonna disconnect everything and I'm gonna finish sucking up. Well, first I'm gonna suck up all the sawdust and do this dry wipe with the rag and get what I can off. Then the plan is Ronnie's gonna wet a rag, and either he's gonna wipe wet or I'm gonna wipe wet. One of us is gonna follow with dry, and then we're gonna get all the remaining real thin sawdust off of here. And that'll be it for the day. We'll let it dry for about 24 hours. And at some point, we'll be sealing. So for now, this is what you got. Okay, we've decided to do one coat of the polyurethane today. It has to cure. How long does it have to cure, Ronnie? Has to dry overnight. And he said when his brother built his workbench, they put 6 coats on it. So if we do one coat today, we can allow time for it to cure before we start other coats anyway. So I've been asking him lots of questions and he's just getting aggravated with me. But actually he's starting, so I guess I need to put this down, start a little time lapse for you, and we're gonna put coat number 1 on the workbench today. Okay, bench has the first coat. Bucket is sealed, or thing is sealed. Now, time to clean the brushes. Ronnie said he forgot to get mineral spirits, so you put gasoline in there?
Yep.
So he put some gasoline in the bucket. He's cleaning the brushes. And that's it for today, folks. All for one big workshop for now. See you another day.